The furious Donald Trump lashing out over reports surrounding his dealings with Russia. Now, these stories put Trump at the heart of an FBI investigation, suspected national security threats, and reportedly under-the-radar dealings with Vladimir Putin. Each story is a serious allegation. They are now culminating into a broader probe on Capitol Hill. And for more, let's bring in Megan Roberts right now. She's tracking all the strands of this story for us today. So let's start with those meetings with Putin that we're hearing about. What can you tell us about the reported ways in which Donald Trump has been trying to keep these meetings allegedly quiet?
This is coming from the Washington Post, Michael, and they are saying that Donald Trump asked his interpreter not to disclose any details about one-on-one meeting between Trump and Vladimir Putin, and also actually took some of that interpreter's notes. Now, those specific allegations were made in relation to a 2017 meeting in Hamburg, but those allegations are wider in that they also apply to other meetings that he had with Putin where only interpreters were present, where people didn't get a complete picture of what went on, according to the Washington Post. They are citing current and former U.S. officials who say that as a result of these tactics, there's no clear picture, even in classified files, of what was said at those one-on-one meetings between Trump and Putin. Trump read the report, he had something to say about it, and he said it on Fox News.
I had a conversation like every president does. You sit with the president of various countries. I do it with all countries. We had a great conversation. We were talking about Israel and securing Israel and lots of other things, and it was a great conversation. I'm not keeping anything under wraps. I couldn't care less. Anybody could have listened to that meeting. That meeting is open for grabs. You know, the whole Russia thing, it's a hoax.
So Donald Trump denying those claims. Meanwhile, senior Democrats are saying that this is unprecedented and disturbing. The Washington Post reporting that this kind of gap of information is unusual in any presidency, much less this presidency, where there are so many questions about Trump and his campaign and their relationship with Russia, Michael.
So that is the reporting that we're getting from the Washington Post regarding meetings with Vladimir Putin. And this follows an earlier report that came from the New York Times regarding an FBI investigation into Donald Trump. Tell us about that.
So the New York Times is reporting that the FBI started a counterintelligence investigation into Donald Trump during his presidency after Trump made a link between the firing of James Comey and the Russia investigation. That's when he quite famously went on television and said that, quote, this Russia thing was on his mind when he fired James Comey as FBI director in May 2017. So the FBI launched this investigation to figure out if Trump was trying to help Russia, why, and whether his actions were a possible threat to national security. That coming from the Washington Post. That, as a result, sparked the House Democrats to investigate this report by the New York Times themselves to try to figure out details. And as for Trump, he calls this one of the most insulting reports that's ever been written about him.